2008 was a year of change for WWE. New stars emerged, rivalries reached their breaking point, and by the end of the year, one of the company's most popular superstars finally climbed the mountain of success. But despite those memorable moments, 2008 was also a year that left me feeling surprisingly disappointed. Following what I thought was a fantastic 2007, the overall in-ring quality seemed to take a noticeable step backwards. Too many feuds dragged on for longer than they needed to. Several pay-per-views struggled to reach the standards set by the previous years, and this isn't where the bright spots were. Chris Jericho reinvented himself once again as a top heel in one of his better career runs. Shawn Michaels continued to prove why he's one of the greatest ever, and Jeff Hardy's journey to the WWE Championship was one of the year's biggest success stories. So after watching every WWE pay-per-view from 2008 in chronological order, what worked, what didn't, and where does this year rank among the rest? Let's find out. So starting off with the Royal Rumble and Ric Flair's retirement storyline started on Raw. Chris Jericho versus JBL was a really rough feud where they beat the piss out of each other, but it was kind of just because. I know that JBL kind of started insulting his family and stuff, but it really went from 0 to 100 very quickly. Edge versus Rey Mysterio was decent, it was better than I remember it being, and Jeff Hardy got his first of multiple near-miss world title opportunities on this one, but there was a very cool finish with the twist of fate into the RKO. The Royal Rumble match was pretty good. There's worse Rumbles, but there's also a lot better Royal Rumbles as well, but obviously this was all about the huge return of John Cena in this iconic moment. But yeah, the Rumble is good. The right winner was Cena. I guess Triple H was the only alternative if Cena wasn't cleared to compete. At No Way Out, we saw the start of the Elimination Chamber being the February pay-per-view / the stipulation to get to WrestleMania, which is something that I thought was a great idea and something I still enjoy today now that we have the Elimination Chamber pay-per-views, though I'm not going to lie, I would prefer if they were still called No Way Out. Big Daddy V getting a world title opportunity in 08 is incredibly questionable, but Undertaker was absolutely the right winner. Respect to MVP and Finlay for big spots. Hornswoggle played it very smart, getting the shillelagh to Finlay through the edges of the cage because he's small. But the Chamber matches really carried this show. The WWE title one is one of the best Elimination Chamber matches that there is, in my opinion. Honestly, if you haven't seen the WWE title Elimination Chamber match from No Way Out 2008, go and watch it. It is fantastic. John Cena is an absolute idiot for using his Royal Rumble opportunity early, but Randy Orton is a very smart bastard for slapping the referee in what is a very laughable finish, meaning that John Cena loses his opportunity, but Randy Orton still gets to keep the championship, which is kind of a bad way to end this, but I understand the thinking behind it. WrestleMania 24 we had a very fun Money in the Bank ladder match, many cool spots using the ladder. We saw the return of Matt Hardy, who took out and cost MVP the match. It was a huge win for CM Punk, especially at the time, as before this he kind of didn't feel like he was ready for Money in the Bank, but it turned out, and obviously as a CM Punk fan, very big fan of this moment. Maybe should have been Chris Jericho instead, but hindsight is what it is. Batista was absolutely wasted on this show. He deserved a lot better for the absolutely phenomenal 2007 that he had to get kind of stuck with Umaga, which no offense to Umaga, but this match wasn't very good at all. And then there was the crooked Batista bomb, which makes me nervous every time I see it. I loved the Kane match. That was a real highlight for me. But of course, match of the night was Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Absolutely brilliant match. It's just a shame that Flair just didn't stay retired. Cena versus Orton versus Triple H should have been better in my opinion with the amount of quality that was in that match. Respect to Mayweather for taking on the Big Show, but Edge versus The Undertaker was great. 16-0 for The Undertaker as he continues his kind of 2007 to 2013 Mania matches, just being an absolutely brilliant run. At Backlash, Matt Hardy wins the United States Championship, which is a well-deserved win. Shawn Michaels is a very smart way to defeat Batista, faking an injury and then doing the switch music to get the win, but it makes you really question his character, which would be something that carries on throughout the entire year. The two World Championship matches, so the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship matches, were good, but there was no real standout match on this card. At Judgment Day, Jeff Hardy returned on the Raw before the pay-per-view. JBL versus John Cena was boring. Jericho versus Shawn Michaels was a great match. There was the weird tweener storyline for Shawn Michaels, but we got to a great feud with Chris Jericho out of it. The women's triple threat match was actually really good. I very much enjoyed it. And then the Edge, Vicky Guerrero, Undertaker storyline is incredibly frustrating, but in like a good heel way, because it gets heat on Edge and Vicky Guerrero. Randy Orton versus Triple H was fine, but again, nothing great. And what I'm finding with this, watching these times back, is that Randy Orton maybe isn't as good as we all thought he is. At One Night Stand, Jeff Hardy and Umaga had an absolutely fantastic Falls Count Anywhere opener. Respect to Melina to have the submission on her that Beth Phoenix did in the I Quit match looked absolutely brutal. The back is not supposed to bend that way. Triple H and Randy Orton had another alright match, but again I expected a lot better. TLC was fun, the interference definitely helped with this one. It was a decent match. Undertaker definitely should have, they had the stipulation of the Undertaker must leave WWE, which we just know isn't going to happen, so it's a stupid stipulation to have on it. But you know, as always, we see him in a couple of months at SummerSlam. At Night of Champions, Chavo Guerrero continues to get United States Championship opportunities and then fails again. I think I've seen him have at least 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 opportunities in the United States Championship, watching these back, and he has won none of them and not come close to getting one of them. There was a fair few title changes. We saw the Cody Rhodes and DiBiase team come together as Cody Rhodes betrayed Hardcore Holly, which then led to Rhodes and DiBiase becoming champions. Mark Henry became the new ECW champion, and Kofi Kingston upset Chris Jericho. With how early we are into Kofi Kingston's career, that is a massive win. Batista versus Edge was disappointing as La Familia got involved and they suck, and it cost Batista the match. And yeah, again, just a bit of a letdown match. John Cena vs Triple H is the best match on the show in my opinion, but now both world titles are on SmackDown, which then is very confusing. But what they do is on Raw, they have CM Punk cash in Money in the Bank on Edge just before the Great American Bash. So moving on to the aforementioned Great American Bash, of course we saw CM Punk cash in just before that. Edge and Vicky Guerrero get married, Triple H ruins it. Hawkins and Ryder though win gold at Great American Bash. We saw the final bit of Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels in a kind of uncomfortable, bloody kind of... Shawn Michaels is absolutely bloody to hell. It's a very uncomfortable kind of watch because it just completely slows down and Jericho just keeps going for his head, which, like, it's fine. I understand the story version, but it does make me want to mark the match down a little bit. We saw the inaugural Divas champion in Michelle McCool. Batista versus CM Punk was actually a pretty decent match, but it was kind of let down a bit by Kane just randomly attacking them. And again, because I'm not watching the weekly shows because they're not available, that didn't make much sense to me. But I looked it up and it's because he's starting to feud with Rey Mysterio not long after this. The Broken Lock Brawl was mid between John Cena and JBL, but everything they do is kind of mid. But no commentary definitely made this worse. Edge versus Triple H was a fine match again. Just expected a little bit more out of these two, being again the talents that they are. I just expected it to be a lot better. Going on to SummerSlam, and we've got 2 out of 2 years for absolutely awful SummerSlams. I don't know how they've got away with doing 2 in a row that are so bad. But the 2 World and WWE Championship matches are mediocre at best. There's no kind of big world title match on this card. Glam Morella is funny, though Santino as champ is he goes on for a lot longer than I imagined it would have. He had the title for a long time. But then we had John Cena versus Batista for the first time. It was a decent match for a first meeting, quite a short match. I expected more out of the talent that was in the ring, but it is what it is. We saw the return, once again, of The Undertaker for Hell in a Cell against Edge, which was a good match, but then post-match it went really weird. They were doing stuff with the graphics and it was all kind of very bizarre. Moving on to Unforgiven, and this was a really good show, actually, especially after a really bad SummerSlam. And I love the championship scramble matches. I wish they'd make a return and they do them nowadays. I wish they'd never gone away, to be fair. But out of the 3, the WWE and World Championship ones were probably the 2 better ones, but the ECW one was good as well. Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels' unsanctioned match is really good too, but I know the best is next as far as those 2 go. But yeah, a really fun pay-per-view. And a little tidbit, if you want a full review of Unforgiven 2008, there is a full review of it already on the channel if you want to go look out for that. Going on to No Mercy, it's kind of a 2-match show. Triple H and Jeff Hardy indeed, have a great match. It's real combat styles that works really, really well. And of course, Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho have the infamous ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Not best pleased about how CM Punk loses the World Heavyweight Championship, but it's good for the adding into the feud with Jericho and Shawn Michaels. But, having him just be taken out by Randy Orton and then never really following up on that was very disappointing. Going on to Cyber Sunday, and this will be the last Cyber Sunday and any kind of event of its kind. With the whole voting and stuff, we wouldn't see that kind of ever again. Then we had Matt Hardy versus Evan Bourne. It was a surprisingly good match for the ECW Championship. I couldn't have cared less about Big Show and Undertaker's feud, and the fact that it went on for multiple months is incredibly frustrating to watch. Again, Triple H and Jeff Hardy had a fantastic and great match. These two have real good chemistry together. Chris Jericho losing to Batista is good, and I was pretty happy with it, but then he loses it a couple of days, if not the next night afterwards. So it's kind of disappointing in that kind of sense. Then going on to Survivor Series, John Cena makes his return that is announced before the pay-per-view that he'll be back. Vladimir Kozlov is kind of more prominent now on TV and pay-per-views, with him being undefeated, and he gets him a WWE Championship match. At the pay-per-view, the teams matches for the traditional Survivor Series elimination matches are pretty lackluster. I have no care for Undertaker versus Big Show still. I believe they have a casket match here, and it's, again, very mediocre. Triple H vs Kozlov is awful. It's so bad that people were chanting boring and TNA during that match. It was awful. And then Chris Jericho versus John Cena in the main event. They don't really click. It's an okay match, but it's a pretty woeful Survivor Series overall. And then finally, Armageddon. CM Punk and Rey Mysterio have a great match. Even though it's face versus face, it's a tournament match for a future Intercontinental Championship opportunity. And they pretty much tear the house down. There's some pretty good matches on this show overall. Randy Orton and Batista have a decent match as well. John Cena and Chris Jericho, they have a much better match compared to the Survivor Series one. It's not like, a 5-star classic that these two probably should have, but it's better than what they have. I think I gave it a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But Hardy, of course, winning the WWE Championship is the huge moment of the night. It's a well-deserved moment in his career, and a great way to end the last pay-per-view of 2008 with a absolutely massive pop from the crowd. Overall, I think 2008 was a year that promised a lot but never quite reached the heights of the previous years. While there were some fantastic rivalries and memorable moments, the overall in-ring quality took a noticeable step backwards for me, making it one of the more inconsistent years I've watched so far. My wrestler of the year was Chris Jericho. His incredible heel transformation, outstanding character work and fantastic rivalry with Shawn Michaels made him a standout performer in 2008. And my breakout star has to be Jeff Hardy, because of course it's Jeff Hardy. After years of climbing the ladder, 2008 finally felt like the year he became a genuine main event star, with his journey to the WWE Championship being one of the biggest highlights of the entire year. Well, now I want to hear from you. What did you think of WWE in 2008? Who would be your wrestler of the year and breakout star? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for the next episode of the Retrospective, where I'll be watching every WWE pay-per-view in 2009 and reviewing it. And if you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on these matches throughout the series, make sure you check out the classic match rating shorts, where I give every pay-per-view match its own rating in a quick bite-sized format. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.